the 661, Youth Voices for Kern is produced by Kern Youth for the whole community and made possible by South Kern Soul, with support from Building Healthy Communities South Kern.
Welcome to In the 661, Youth Voices for Kern, where we discuss topics of interest for the entire community, but also specifically targeted to the youth of our community. And joining me here now is Nataly Santamaria with Promotoras. Thanks for joining us, and let's talk a little bit about your programs.
Well, Promotoras I work for Visión y Compromiso, which is an organization that supports the work of Promotora. And a Promotora is the natural born leader in the community. So the go-to person within the community. That.
When you say community, right, it's how do you describe and define your communities? Is it all throughout Kern? Is it specific to Bakersfield? Is it Lamont? Or is there a promotora in every community, or multiple promotoras in every community?
Well, we have promotoras throughout California,
Okay.
but yes, here in Kern County,
Right.
There's promotoras throughout the county. There's some that live in Shafter, Greenfield, Lamont, Arvin, so they're all over.
How do they, are they self-selecting, or do they kind of get elected by their community, or how does that work? How do you become a promotora?
You are a promotora. you don't become one. That's actually, it's a natural person that everyone goes to. They don't elect it. It's just that person that people naturally go to for advice, for anything.
But it really is targeted, from my understanding, towards the health of the community. Tell me about how that works.
Yes, a lot of these promotoras aid, people that have chronic diseases. So the doctor only has 5 to 10 minutes with you, but promotoras can really enter into the home and make those changes. This is when we're talking about, health, physical health, I guess you could say. But I mean, it's the holistic health overall, mental health and everything. So when it impacts one person in the household, then you impact the family, and then it impacts the community.
I mean, in the healthcare industry, we call those social determinants to health, right?
Yes.
So when we talk about your doctor's appointment, it's not just getting you to the doctor and getting seen, but it's transportation and access to that transportation and other things that would prevent you from getting your medication, all those kinds of things. How do you tackle some of those issues? Because when we look at it from a kind of wide perspective, you see some difficulties and challenges. How do you tackle hunger and food inequity and people not being able to access food? How do you start to tackle those problems?
Well, at the community level, the promotora then would let the person know where's the food bank. The promotora would inform that person resources, because promotoras process all of this. At Visión y Compromiso, we grow the leadership of this promotora, so they have those resources. So when people are coming to them, they have it. It's accessible to them.
And so where are you currently working? What are some of your current projects?
We have some mental health workshops that are coming up. We have one on March 14th, next Wednesday, 2 Wednesdays. And it's going to be focused on the mental health around teens. Now, the workshop is for parents, but we're going to be talking about the mental health of youth, of teenagers.
Why is that such a critical issue right now? I mean, I'm guessing, right, because we've had recent shootings involving teenagers. So I mean, is that kind of what spurred this particular summit or this particular discussion?
The first discussion, it didn't. It was actually more about this immigration. How they're very anxious because their parents are getting deported. But yes, because of the shootings that have developed in the last couple of weeks, that is going to be the focus now.
But you hear, though, in the community, at least on a nationwide level discussion, that there aren't enough resources to deal with that. So how do we start tackling that? I mean, if there aren't the resources, can promotoras work to kind of affect that change and get the resources that are needed for communities?
Well, what we did is we just got together, we saw there was the need, and that's exactly what we did on our own. We are partnering with Community Health Initiative. They also work with promotoras. But we're looking for those resources. We're looking for the speakers to come and talk to the community, because we found that there are not enough resources out in the community to target this thing. So we're just taking it on our own.
Well, let's talk about part of the other reason perhaps is people not having the connection to the Latino community. So how do we start building that bridge as well, now that Latinos are now the majority here in Kern County?
I think that service, the Department of Public Health, mental health departments need to understand community, and I think promotoras are a key to that, because promotoras are already a trusted source in the community. So they need to reach out to promotoras and ask them, how do we reach the Latino community? They need to start coming out to the community so that it's more effective.
Well, I mean, let's talk about how, when you want to reach the community, there are currently, you were just alluding to, fears in the community about reaching out for those resources, is that right? So how do you kind of combat some of that issue?
Well, we have house meetings. Promotoras conduct house meetings, so they go to the person's house and they talk about these things. You know, whether it's health, whether it's suicide prevention, whether it's even advocacy and getting involved in their community, they're going to the community. But again, it's not just someone randomly knocking on your door and saying, "Hey, I have this to talk to you."
Right.
It's that neighbor, you know, like I said, la comadre, that you already trust, and that's why they're being let into the house, and it's easier to touch the community.
Because, I mean, if that resource goes out to the community without kind of having that touch point, some people may already be suspicious of who they are, why they're there, and what they're doing, right?
Yes.
What other ways can the community get involved with some of your programs?
I would say, you know, they can call me. I am that point of person here in Kern County, and I can connect them to a promotora in their community. And they can also learn about more of what we're doing and join our committee. We have a committee where we plan all of this work. So if there's a community that we're not reaching, a promotora can come and join, and you know, they have a voice in the table as to what that community needs.
When you're saying comadre, I'm thinking of an elder of the community, but I mean, we're talking about youth voices.
Yes.
Can youth, you know, can young people join?
Yes, absolutely. A lot of these, yes, I know I said comadre, we think about the older, but you know what, a lot of, and it's mainly women, yes, but their children are getting involved. The youth is getting involved because they see their mom out there. They see them involved, you know, advocating. So they're receiving this and they're wanting to do it. So yes, we do have youth members in the committee where they come. They don't come as often because of school, but we do have them there, and their voices are heard as well.
So they can contact you not only through the phone, but also through your website as well, right?
Our website is visionycompromiso.org, and the phone number is 661-618-0623, and that is the direct phone line to me.
All right. Well, Nataly, thank you so much for talking to us and letting us know more about promotores and the work that they're doing in our community right now.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us here on In the 661 Youth Voices for Kern.